Hi, everybody. My name is Miguel A. Gonzalez, and this is going to be my overview of my California representatives. California senators. So we're going to be covering at the federal level the senators who represent California. We'll start with the first one, which is Dianne Feinstein, and she'd been serving California residents since 1992 until this year, when she unfortunately passed away. Although she had announced that she was going to retire next year, unfortunately that didn't happen. But she'd been serving the California people since 1992 until this year. Next, we have Senator Alex Padilla, who's been serving since the year 2020 because he replaced Kamala Harris when she became Vice President of the United States. And he's up for re-election next year in 2024. And finally, we have LaFonza Butler, and she was just recently announced this month, who was set to replace Dianne Feinstein this year. So now that we covered our California senators at a federal level, we're going to now analyze the congressional districts, state senates, and assembly within the jurisdictions that I reside. So I reside in District 31 of the State Senate District, and that's covered by Senator Richard Roth. And I also reside in the 33rd Congressional District, which is overseen by Congressman Pete Aguilar. And we can see both maps. Essentially, they're almost identical. The congressional district is slightly bigger, but they encompass essentially the same areas. And finally, we have Assemblymember Eloise Gomez Reyes, who covers District 50, which encompasses the smaller suburbs within the San Bernardino County, on the eastern portion of it, which includes Colton, Rialto, Loma Linda, and then it also branches west towards Rancho Cucamonga and Fontana. Interesting fact, which is why I made a dedicated slide for her, was I actually grew up next to Eloise's parents. Her father lived on my block until his passing, and her mom still lives in my city. And they actually have a great story because she comes from very humble beginnings, and she was able to be a real success story for our community. She went to law school, became a lawyer, and now is in politics as well. Additionally, her parents, they came to this country as immigrants with nothing, and essentially built an empire in my city. And they're very good people, well known till this day. I may not support all her legislative decisions or her views, but I still respect her. At the end of the day, it's just politics. Finally, we have gerrymandering that we are going to discuss in this slide. And essentially, what gerrymandering is, it's when one party manipulates the district lines for their own advantage, right? So by doing this, you can ultimately influence the voter's decision. For example, if you shift a district to a Republican demographic, you're almost going to guarantee a Republican win, right? And a simple analogy that I thought about was, growing up as a kid, you have your older siblings and you're supposed to share candy, drinks, or cookies, so forth, right? And you're always making sure that they don't scheme you from the top, right? And you always see how the method of measurement, you want to make sure it's fair, and you don't want them taking a bigger piece that wasn't theirs. And that's essentially what gerrymandering is. You're just pretty much getting a bigger piece, influencing to your own advantage. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching.